Hey.
Welcome to Power Fridays Live, the channel that aims to make a difference in the world through transformation, spiritual growth, and for entrepreneurs. Our vision is to empower individuals to live their lives with purpose and to make a positive impact on the world. We believe that power and purpose are the driving forces behind success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Through our broadcast, we discuss business strategies and techniques that can help entrepreneurs achieve their goals and take their business to the next level. We believe that through sharing knowledge and experience, we can empower each other to succeed and make a difference in the world. Now here's our host, Janelle Pulley.
Janelle. Love that intro. Every time I hear it, I get excited. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Welcome to Power Fridays Live, Devon. How are you this evening?
I'm blessed. I'm excited to be here. Our guest is stuck in traffic, so to speak. So you got me here to chop it up with you, and our loving audience to hear us chop it up. So, what's going on? Talk to me. How's your day going?
Everything's going pretty good, and it's been a positive, productive day as always. And looking at the opportunity to help somebody is what I'm about each and every day. And as long as I'm able to provide information to help someone, then my day and my goals are met in what I do with business. And what about yourself?
Absolutely. It's been an interesting day, to say the least. Everything that can go will go. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to be here. I always look forward to Power Fridays Live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is show number 170. So congratulations on the longevity and the consistency of what you've been putting out for what has been 3 years already,
Yes.
almost 3 years.
Yes. I've interviewed several people. Well, you could say 170 people, perhaps, but maybe like more like 165 because a couple of people been interviewed more than once. And so I'm just like, what? I'm like, we're 30 episodes away from 200. So it's a great feeling, and I'm very excited because I've met a lot of great people along the way from various walks of life, from various business backgrounds, and just the transformation that people have when it relates to their business and how their business got started. They were just powerful stories. And I've known some of the guests that I interviewed for over 20 years. But when I interviewed them, I learned so much more about them through the interview things I didn't know, because what we know about someone in a friendship and what we know about someone in business, I knew they were a great business person, but they had written this book. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And I learned more about that story. So all of the entrepreneurs, I try to pull out, hey, what's that story behind you becoming an entrepreneur? And what pivotal moment in your life happened to where you said, hey, I'm giving up the day job? Or maybe, some people are still straddling the fence, with the day job and have their business on the side too. And, what leads people to that? And, comedians we've interviewed that are authors and coaches, consultants, and I'm looking forward to the future of interviewing our first teenpreneur and franchise owners. So I'm just like really super excited about what the future has to offer, just to have these conversations and learn about what did someone have to do to keep going, to keep moving. What's that powerful story? What's that mindset that individual had to take on, a new mindset to actually say, hey, this is me now. The old me has passed away, as the scripture says, everything's gone passed away. Things are made new again. And so what has really impacted someone's life to actually make things new again? So that's what I've really been able to discover with a lot of the entrepreneurs that I've interviewed, and just powerful stories. And we do have another powerful story with us this evening as well. And I'm super excited. So whenever I read this young lady's bio, I was just like, wow, she's a powerhouse.
Look at that beautiful smile. You're gonna have to
Thank
unmute yourself. There
thank
you
you
go.
so much.
Hi, and is that Kenesha Traynham-Cooper?
Yes, Kenesha Traynham-Cooper. Yes.
Kenesha, good. Welcome to Power Fridays Live. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I was super excited to when I read your bio, I was like, this woman, she's a powerhouse, a
Thank you.
community leader, and
Thank
just
you.
a well-rounded individual who you look really young, who's done a lot in a short period of time, and even an ordained minister, and you work with the mayor's office in New York. So I'm just like really super excited to learn more about your story, and what led you into entrepreneurship, coming from the movie Bedford Stuyvesant, right? In Brooklyn, you were born and raised, and
don't
so
don't mind her. She's from Atlanta.
Oh, that I understand. ATL.
That's why.
I know. I'm a fan of Spike Lee. Wasn't he born and raised in that same area? He did one of his movies. So that was my first depiction of when I saw that, it's like Spike Lee movie. But I
Yeah,
know it probably wasn't quite like that. But
right. Definitely not quite like that exactly now.
so tell me more. Tell me more. How was it for
It's
you?
done been gentrified, man.
Right. Well, we have, like great things, great people that come out of Bedford Stuyvesant. Officially, I am. My name is again Kenesha Traynham-Cooper. I am the 56th Assembly District Leader for Bedford Stuyvesant and Northern Crown Heights, and that is where I also live with my daughter, Miss Amira Dior. And so,
Yes,
our
yes.
community, we have all people. We welcome all people. So all
Uh-huh.
colors, all shades, you will find there. Okay.
Absolutely.
And
That's
so,
the beautiful thing.
right, that's the beautiful thing about Bedford Stuyvesant and Northern Crown Heights. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I am an entrepreneur. How that started, it's so funny. Our children, Mr. Joseph and my child, they went to elementary together, really like nursery, elementary. So
Hmm.
um, that's when everything was birthed inside of me for my daughter. Um, so when I think back, I began my nonprofit organization teaching entrepreneurship to children from 3 years old and up, starting at Park Slope Christian Academy with
Academy.
our children.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And it is just so amazing how later on now, at that time, it wasn't a nonprofit. At that time, I was getting my MDiv. I was in college, getting my master's in divinity, and yes, that is my third degree, but that was what where I am now. That is what is sustaining who I am and the role that I'm playing in urban communities. And so I did take up urban ministry. So I'm able to now understand how to work in the marketplace and bring ministry together because I went to school at that time and because I worked with the children at that time. So later on, I opened up an a home-based daycare teaching entrepreneurship to the children. So I wanted, like, the way I work is, mentally, I'm like, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm covered in every area. Who would want to just send their child to me? So that's the reason why I had gotten my license um, for my home-based daycare. And so at one point, even I had offered free childcare in the summertime during the pandemic because I felt that it was necessary. And when the children graduated, I gifted them shares of stock because I felt like they needed to know that it's not just about being an entrepreneur, it's about also owning a piece of the company. So now at this age, those companies I'm sure are still around, right?
Yes.
So it's just growing and growing. So I have now been able to teach the children and their parents how to actually open up a brokerage account, what it actually means to be an entrepreneur, what exactly it means to save, what is a bank account. I took them on trips to the bank, even though it was, of course, cute at that time, but those are things that they're going to remember, right? So, and I only know this because at the age of 3, when my daughter was in nursery, before she even went to Parksville Christian Academy, she was at school and cutting up pieces of paper and passing them out to all her friends at the table. And they asked her like what she was doing, and she said that she was passing out business cards. And this is at 3 years old. So that's when I realized that her mind was a sponge at that time, because all she saw was me. She was only around me. So once realizing that, that's when it became a thing like, oh, my child is really doing this. Oh, I need to make sure that when she is with her friends, the conversation is not just about play. She's giving them something to think about as well. Just like I'm giving her something to think about when she's with me. So that's the reason why I really started the nonprofit with the children as a pilot program at Parksville Christian Academy. And years later now, my walking billboard, Miss Amira Dior, we launched her second business. Her first business, again, is in the arts. Again, it's Amira's Animations, paint and create mental health awareness. So we would go to different nature developments. That's when she was 12 years old. This is when we launched that for her 12th birthday. And we would go to different nature developments, teaching how to paint to the seniors. It's an intergenerational program. And so her and her friends, or even family members, I would take them over to different nature developments, and really, really helping people manage their emotions and their energy into art. And that was also a way to help the youth and the elders, of course, and in-betweeners as well, to truly understand how to communicate with the youth, right? We wanted all of them to communicate better. And this is also, again, birthed during the pandemic. So now, fast forward 2 years later, she turned 14 this year. And last year, I had asked her just randomly, so do you want to create sneakers? And she said, okay, sure. And out of nowhere, I said, okay, go make sneakers. That's what I said to her. Go do it. If you want to do this, go do it. And then she came back with a sneaker. And then ever since, we launched it this year, and she was allowed the opportunity to give 75 pairs of sneakers that she partnered with another company called Gurney, New York City, to go to for the Oscar nominees. So we went to California. It's truly a great experience, where now she has been on this mission going to different schools, and it's called You Can Too movement. A You Can Too movement, meaning you can do exactly what I'm doing, and showing other children how important it is to really follow their dreams, and understanding who they are as an individual and not just as a child, that they can do anything at any time they want, and they don't have to wait until they're an adult. So that is my journey as an entrepreneur, in that regard, as also a mother.
Yes, mompreneur, creating entrepreneur. That is exciting. And we'll definitely have to hear her side of the story. I know you're sharing her story and how it's impacted you in your life. And it's a great opportunity that you provided her to come to walk into her own as an entrepreneur, because you asked her, it's like, what do you want to do? and she said, "This is what I want," and you said, "Go do it," and that's just powerful. So thank you so much for sharing that.
I think
Absolutely.
one of the things is
Thank
the
you. Thank you.
foundation is we as parents sometimes, and I loved how you said she was a sponge. I think sometimes we as parents we so busy in the hustle and bustle we forget that these kids is around us and this is their foundation. This is what the stuff they're learning at an early age is what will dictate who they become in the future. And to be able to have such a powerful mom around her, entrepreneur that can instill these kind of traits and skills and just thought process, because we've learned everything is mindset in this world, right? You have a
Right.
weak mind, then the world will have its way with you. But when you have a powerful mind, you can change the world as she is right now doing. So that's just phenomenal,
Thank
phenomenal, phenomenal.
The You Can Too movement, and well, she's branched out from New York to LA. I'm just like elated. I'm super excited.
You know, these are
thank
one of them stories that make you, when you hear somebody do certain things, it makes you like, what's wrong with you? Why you ain't start doing something yet? Right? What's been taking you so long? You know what I mean? It's like you look at LeBron James and all these famous athletes, and they be like, yo, 18 going to the NBA, 19 going to the NBA, making millions. You'd be like, damn, what did I do with my life for the last 20, 30 years? You know what I'm saying? And that's the same here. You know, she like you told her go and do it, then she went out and did it. So that's powerful.
thank you. Thank you guys.
Well, being and part of the community, that's what I loved about what you shared with your daughter. She's connecting with the community. And as you being a community leader as well, you've been connecting with the community for many, many years. Can you share with us a little about your community involvement?
Absolutely. Um, so that's also what I teach through my nonprofit, civic engagement. So, by the way, the nonprofit is called for Future Generations Entrepreneurship and Leadership Foundation. And so, as a person in the community, I started at a very young age. My mom, my godmother, my mother, the great late Sharon Traynham. A lot of people may not know her internationally, but locally, she did a lot in the community. And so everything that she did, I realized as an adult, I'm now doing. So
Nice.
her, my godmother, Karen Cherry, who's also been in politics for many, many years, um, now working for the mayor's office for New York. It's just amazing how life is always comes around full circle. And so I used to volunteer for congressmen and towns along with my other was working for him, Karen Cherry. And I always saw how to serve the community. It's one thing to tell someone to do something, but to see it being done, we are visual people. As individuals, we're visual, right? So I just knew what to do. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew what to do. So it's important to know what to do. It's important to show people how. If you say to serve the community, how am I supposed to do that? You have to find the need. And so something that I've acknowledged I, I guess live my life right now is I analyze, I strategize, and then I implement. Those are the keys when it comes to how I live my life. So I analyze what's needed, strategize on what is necessary to be done, and then I implement. I do it, right? And I always tell people that
I think
because
we
it's important to not just see something, but to actually do something about it. So as a district leader, I'm not sure if a lot of people really know. Number one, it's an unpaid position, so it's a party position. I am part of the Brooklyn Democratic Party, and we have several duties. So the first duty is number one, we are the ones who educate, educate the community and we're on the ground. So a lot of our other elected officials who are legislators, because I'm not one who is a legislator, they are either in Albany, they're either, which is our state elected officials, or your uh, Congress, that's in DC, so they have to go to DC, and then you have city that's on the ground, so they're still legislating. So they may not always have as much time as the district leaders do to go into the community all the time. So they're the ones on the ground, they're in the field, right? And then we also are the ones who have to uh, find the most accessible polling sites, and then help hire the ones that actually work the polls on election day, as well as early voting. And then we are also the ones who vet the attorneys that would like to become judges, and the judges that would like to become Supreme Court justices. So those are our duties. And the other, the other duty that we have is to act as a liaison for the other elected officials, because they may not be here on the ground, right? So because of all these duties that we have, it's important to know your district leaders. It's important to know when you have an issue, you can easily just contact them. So I usually just give out my information right away whenever I do meet people in my community, so that they have access to it. It's important to have access, because it's about transparency. It's about making sure that people can contact you when they need you, and making sure that people know that you are there for them, along as well as other elected officials who they may not be able to just contact at any time. So being in the community all these years, I've realized that there's a lot that needs to be done. So it's not just about me. We have a team. You have to have a team of people who have the same vision, the same goals as you, so that we can all work together to complete them. So
No.
right now, you're my team, as you are asking me to come on this podcast, because now we are educating people on what not only district leaders are doing, but the election is happening very, very soon. So the general election is happening. Early voting is happening right now in New York City. It started on the 28th, and it ends, the early voting ends on this Sunday. So it is important for people to actually vote. Our vote
Absolutely.
matters, and once people really understand that, because even though people may feel that it's not important to them, but your local elections are extremely important, along with the other elections that happen. But I know that the president is not coming to my community. That's why there are
Absolutely.
local elections, so that we can get funding, so that we can get to know the people that's necessary um, to know for certain situations that are who are on the ground, who are truly in our best interest for our part of the city, for our part of the country. So I encourage people to go. I let people know you really can't complain if you're not voting. You have
No.
nothing to say to me if you're not voting.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Your voice, your vote is your voice. That's what I
Right.
tell people. Your vote is your voice.
And
You have your
November
window
7th is
open?
the actual election. The general election is November 7th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, voting is on Tuesday, November 7th.
Yes.
I checked my sample ballot today. I was like, do I go vote? I haven't gotten any paraphernalia in the mail. Do I go vote on Tuesday? And then I looked to see my sample ballot. It says nothing was there. So I made sure that I have a great voting record, and I encourage everyone to know that your vote, your voice is your vote. And thank you so much for sharing the information that you have an unpaid position as a district leader, but you bring people in the community together to help make it all possible. And you stand in the gap for the business leaders in your community.
Yeah, I always have so much respect for people who do these unpaid positions, because when somebody's getting paid, you know, they have an ulterior motive. But when somebody really, I'm not getting paid, I'm going out here and do this, it shows the care and the love for your community on such a high level. So kudos to you. And not saying that we don't want you get paid, guys. Find her, go to her page, donate. It's very important that you donate so we can keep these people going. I think she froze up, but you
Yeah.
know, definitely we have to support uh, um the leaders that's, you know, taking their own time and trying to get us to, you know, be a voice in our community, doing all the things to make sure we're heard on all levels, and just so much appreciate Miss Cooper, Traynham-Cooper, for all that she does. I know I have a personal story when Park Slope Christian Academy just decided that they would stop having, uh, you know, my son's grade. We had to find, and I didn't find out till like a week before he was supposed to report to school. I had to find a new school, and I wanted to get my son into one of Obama's blue ribbon schools in what was it, Clinton Hills or Bedford Stuyvesant or whatever it was at the time. And I reached out to Miss Traynham-Cooper, and she was able to guide me. She made a phone call and got me in locked doors. They were like, "We're not seeing nobody," but she made a phone call. She got those doors open and got my son into that school. So I greatly appreciate her and people like her that's out there in the community, that's, you know, taking their valuable time to make sure the little people is heard. And so I greatly appreciate what you've done and what you continue to do for our community, Miss Traynham-Cooper.
Yes, the impact that you've shared and that you have, and what I read in your bio that you have in your community is tremendous. And can you tell us, at least give us at least one story about how you impact your community recently, or that you thought that you had a challenge that you were like surprised that, oh, I conquered this challenge in my
I
community.
think we lost her. She might not be able to hear you.
Yeah, she's there, but she reminds me of my mother actually. And when you were sharing about the children seeing you and seeing how you
Mhm.
work and operate, my mom was the same thing. She took us everywhere. Whenever we worked in the community, she was like, "Here, we had an assembly line at home with the apples, with the oranges, with the pecans, and the
Mhm.
basket and the cellophane wrapper and the bows." So there was somebody who had a duty here. We're coming up upon, some of the holiday times that some people celebrate, and we would give to the community. And I'll never forget, I went to visit my mom on Mother's Day. We ended up at the nursing home on Mother's Day. I was like, and with gifts. So I was like, why are we on Mother's Day
Hello?
coming to the nursing home, giving them gifts? But that's what she wanted to do on Mother's Day, and
Hello?
serving the community. So being a
We hear you.
of service to
Oh,
the community was amazing.
sorry, my I had
It's
a
all good. We
technical
know how it
difficulty.
is. Don't worry about it.
So
Yes.
I am going to be having a Thanksgiving giveaway on Thanksgiving Day. So I do annual Thanksgiving giveaway every year ever since my grandmother passed away, or back in 2019. So she would have been 84 years old this year, and her birthday is usually we celebrate it on Thanksgiving. So I'm giving away 84 plates, which would have equate to the amount of years that she would have been if she was living. And so that's happening on Thanksgiving Day from 12 to 2. And that's going to be in Tompkins Houses. That's where we grew up. My grandmother was the first person to live in that apartment, and then my mother, and then myself. So I decided to give back to that particular community for her birthday. And then I do a tour for Christmas. and that's coming up as well. And so we
So
go to different night developments, and we also give we give about we did about 12 different sites last year that I worked with other organizations coming together, doing a tour to different night developments, along with one domestic violence shelter that I used to work at several years ago. And so that's what I'm doing for the rest of the year.
that's awesome. What's the best way for people to reach you if they wanted to be a part of all these beautiful activities that you got going on? Is it the website or you prefer something else?
I prefer people to contact me at this number, 929 304 5000, and they can text me from on that number, 929 304 5000, and just put their name and the Power podcast, and I will remember who they are.
Absolutely, absolutely. We appreciate that. So, guys, definitely make sure if you want to donate, if you want to volunteer, if you have information that can help the community that you would like to share with Miss Traynham-Cooper, go ahead and do that. We need more people like you. So it's time to stand up and do something. There's people, they say there's people out there that watch things happen, and there's people out there that make things happen. Be one of the people that make things happen. Get up off your butt. Stop watching all these reality TV shows and go volunteer in your community like Miss Cooper here. Please.
Yes.
Please,
And
please.
and thank you so much for being on the front line. So we're calling all of the professional athletes in the world in the state of New York to come and support Miss Traynham-Cooper with her endeavor.
Even if you're just passing through New York, reach out.
Absolutely. Oh, one more thing. And please follow my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, Lane One NYC.
Wow. She's 14 already?
That's right. That's right. You can find her website, and you can, purchase a pair of her sneakers, lane number one fashion.com.
Lane number
LANE,
one.
the number one fashion.com. And you can follow her on Instagram at lane number one NYC. Thank you.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate all that you do for the community, and we greatly appreciate you showing up to Power Fridays Live.
Yes.
Thank you
And
for having me and inviting me.
You're welcome. And we'll have to invite your daughter out too as well. She will be our first teen entrepreneur interview. So I'm very excited. Well, she could be, in that genre. So thank you so much for your time. And we know your time is very valuable. You could have been anywhere else tonight. We do appreciate taking the journey to your destination. So it looks like you've arrived. And so thank you so much. Be, do, and have the greatness that you desire, because the greatness is in you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kenesha, and we do appreciate your time. Have a great
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye. I appreciate you.
Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you. Well, that was wonderful. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
To connect with her as a community leader, as an entrepreneur, raising her child to be an entrepreneur, because in the first 7 years of a child's life, that's when they are being a sponge. That's when they are learning. That's when they are growing. So, lane1fashion.com. I want a pair of sneakers.
Yeah, I'm watching them. And on the page it has them making the sneakers, and it's kind of cool, man. Yeah, definitely go check that page out and follow them on social media.
Awesome. Well, that is exciting. And Devon, you know some great people, and thank you so much for being a catalyst and supporting Power Fridays Live, and knowing dope people, great people. People are doing great things in the community, and as an entrepreneur, and raising up entrepreneurs. So thank you so much, because it does make a difference for our community. It makes a difference to our economy, and it overall just creates everyone to live their dream
Absolutely.
while they're awake.
Absolutely.
Well,
So
thank you. Anything else for you?
no, it's been awesome. I'm happy we was able to get her on. So hopefully the word get out and we get more people volunteering and taking an invested interest in their community. So let's make it happen.
That's where it starts. Well, we'll see you next week on another episode of Power Fridays Live, where you can be doing have the greatness that you desire because the greatness is in you. Thanks for joining us. Please follow, like, and share Power Fridays Live on your favorite platform on Facebook, YouTube, and we'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Power Fridays Live. Have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Take care.